AAU Basketball continues our coverage on JRM Productions as RIZE takes on Best West Virginia. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Fargo alongside David McDermott, and welcome to our continuing coverage this afternoon as Team RIZE Damon coming off a victory yesterday and looking to build on it against the team from down in Morgantown.
Yeah, a big win last night against AIT, and it was that size. We always talk about Swickley, now RIZE. We'll have to correct ourselves a couple times, but it's the full Swickley rosters with a couple 8th graders coming up. And it is 15U here tonight, and Best Virginia also won last night, their game. So both of these teams 1-0. We got 4 teams total, GRB, AIT, Best Virginia, and RIZE Basketball. So probably 2 of the top teams right here about to face off in our 1 o'clock matchup.
Yeah, a lot of the familiar faces and names from the Swickley Academy PIAA runners-up from just a month ago. Amadou Kane will do the honors jumping against Clark for Best Virginia.
Just a little size disadvantage.
Slight.
We see that
Slight.
every Mamadou Payne actually had some fans the first game when he was warming up. There was a scrimmage between 2 AAU teams, and he goes, "Is that Mamadou Kane out there?" So got a little famous off some Instagram dunks, and one of the talked about 15U prospects in all of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, those conversations will only get louder and louder as he continues his career. We're underway. One of the point, Drew Steele.
Remember that magnificent game he had in the title game?
Inside, Kane off the window, but a travel prior to the shot. Best Virginia gets the ball and a turnover to open things up here. 16-minute halves.
What was interesting, Best Virginia got to watch RIZE before their game last night. Looked right away. As soon as Kane went down low, they went with the double team right away.
Best Virginia. Deontay. Left hand of Thomas. Good ball movement here by the blue and gold of Best Virginia, getting things going. Their first offensive possession of this afternoon's day 2 of the tournament. Triple on the way off the back iron.
And
thrown up by Clark.
Another thing, Matt, and this everybody that's watching for the first time, is there is a shot clock. AAU Basketball has a 35-second shot clock.
Guyton couldn't get that one to fall, but RIZE gets the offensive board, resets the offense, steals for a 3, too much on it. Another offensive board, this time Southall pulls it down and puts it in. A recycled bucket for Southall.
And just like last night, he had a double-double, getting those offensive boards and going right back up. We saw Rob Southall be a piece for that team last year in the state final, and you got to think he's going to get better and better and still only 15 years old.
Deontay tries to go to the rack, was denied. Southall doing it on both sides of the floor. Cross-court pass that was errant, but found the way to Kane. Kane losing it out of bounds off of a Best Virginia player, so RIZE continues possession at 14-22.
Really nice play by Clark there. He just kept his hands up, didn't try swatting the arms and cause a difficult layup, but RIZE gets possession back.
Guyton had his pocket pick taken away neatly there by Good, and Good lays it up for 2. Southall gets the cross-court pass inside to Kane. Kane in the paint, goes up, denied, and taken away by Good one more time. Second steal on 2 possessions. Good to the rack, and he's up and fouled, and he'll go to the line.
So far, Best Virginia is doing what they want. They're playing full-court press, and they're going to use their speed and try to get as many steals as possible. They know they're not big enough down low, so you got to cause havoc to those ball handlers. So far, so good for Best Virginia.
So Good to the line for Best Virginia, 13:56, opening half of play in day 2. And the first shot good for Good.
Little backyard brawl AAU basketball going on here. Have to think they spent the night here, get to play a Easter shootout tournament.
Absolutely. Ball lost out of bounds, and they'll say it went off Mamadou Kane, so West Virginia with the possession.
Cut hard, fellas. Cut hard.
Similar start to yesterday where the offense took a while to get going.
It's just a whole new concept for a couple of these players. I know they've played a couple games, but again, a shot clock, you got to get into your offense sets quick. And we've seen a lot of on-ball defense, a lot of pressure. Another active hand play there again by West Virginia. Goods all over the place so far. All 3 points and has 2 steals already in this one, Matt.
Yeah, it almost had a third and forces the turnover there.
You got to think, some of these teams that come in, a little bit of chip on their shoulder. They hear about city hoops all the time, but West Virginia's had some really nice products come out of there as well. Probably excited to visit Pittsburgh.
Bounce pass inside, and then go right back out with it. Clark cross-court pass, penetrating, a nice dish over to Clark for the 2.
Really nice cut there. Another 2 points and a couple more mistakes by RIZE. And so far, a little nervous, and Sharman White will take his first timeout. You get 3 timeouts per half, 45 seconds only.
So quick timeout here. 5-2 West Virginia on top of RIZE. And did you see yesterday when it started clicking for RIZE? And there, you mentioned there's a nucleus of the team that was in the high school season, but there are some newer parts to it as well.
Yeah, you have 2 head or assistant coaches both on that squad, where you had Greg Cerrone, and then you have another Mike Fitzgerald. So, and then you have 8 players returning onto this team. You got a couple 8th graders coming up, but other than that, you should be able to run a lot of the same sets. Now they have Sharman White coaching this team. Mike Izzolino is not the head coach, but he is still sticking around, watching his boys.
He coached. He was a coach of the last game.
The last game. So this one, they're just getting some different looks. We talked about Sharman White yesterday. I mean, such an impressive resume. So you want to listen to them, but again, it's a challenge. They're probably running some stuff they're not as comfortable in, but in the long run and development, it's going to pay off. So again, everybody wants to win, but at the same time, AAU is all about development as well.
Thomas up the floor on the left-hand dribble. Out of the timeout by RIZE, guarded by Tall. Moved it back outside. Ford, near wing corner. 13 on the shot clock. Thomas finds inside.
Wow, nice
Clark.
Pick and roll there. Use that screen, bump right off of it, and go to the hoop. Nice bounce pass.
Pressure in the backcourt. Tull gets it. Cross-court pass. It gets tipped and intercepted. Good, another steal. Good, stop and pop inside the arc. Falls off the rim, no good. Southall on the board. Back up the floor for RIZE, trying to set something up here. Their transition offense, not good. And then another steal. This time Thomas gets his hand involved. The 5th steal by West Virginia of the afternoon already. Thomas weaving his way, lost control, and a foul is called.
Again, when you're undersized like this with this tall team like RIZE, you just got to attack the ball handlers and make them as uncomfortable as you can. And so far, West Virginia doing a really good job, up 7-2 against RIZE.
Easy. Other side, Carl.
But this can be the challenge. It's almost mid-major versus a big college program. You're undersized, but you got more speed and usually more shooting ability. You just got to battle that size all night long on the boards.
Driving inside, Deontay. Back again for Clark, who puts in another bucket. Leading all scorers so far. RIZE able to break the pressure, moved it inside. Kane, just a bit of a catch there. It was almost more of the volleyball style to get it in.
And good job by Southall. He could have took that 3, but when you can get an easy 2 points like that, not a lot of stress, you just throw it up to your big man and cash in.
And a much needed 2 there for RIZE to get back on the board. 9-4, 3 ball on the way. Off the rim, no good from Deontay.
Right there, RIZE got to do a little bit better on this pick and roll. They had nobody covering the guy, cutting down low, but the guy still took, and there's a big bucket by Kane, the layup, but got to make sure you're playing switch defense here on these pick and rolls. They're doing it a lot on the top of the key.
If Mamadou Kane could get some more baskets that look that easy, that'll spell a success for RIZE today. Good with it. Right side of the lane to the rack. Not enough. Kane the board. Moved up to Tall. Tall knocked out of bounds by West Virginia's Thomas, and substitutions checking in here.
Brandon Pickett checks in for the first time.
Eric Crescion.
Crescion and Pickett. Pickett wasn't on the roster yesterday. We wrote him in, and then he ended up having 11 points. He had a heck of a game. There's another steal by West Virginia.
And it's Clark. Steal and score.
He's got 6 already, Matt, and it's all been off of his defense. He's creating havoc so far.
Crescion for a 3 that doesn't fall. Rebound by Ford and slowly brought up. Thomas. As we come up on the midway point of the first half, Thomas tries to split the D, ends up dishing into the corner, run to the baseline, handoff, another available bucket there for Clark. This time he can't convert, and Kane tracks down the loose basketball. And here comes Rise up the floor in traffic, and earning a foul there is Drew Steele.
And that was a heads-up play. They were trying to trap him again, and he's doing a good job. I got to get through that gap and fight the hand contact, and that's how you draw the foul. But this full-court press by West Virginia so far has been very impressive.
Isaac Sumare checks in, and he'll get the basketball now for Rise. Inside, up strong was Kane, tipped around and out of bounds off of Rise. So West Virginia basketball.
Again, they're shorter than Mamadou Kane, but they double and have help defense and just get 4 hands up there and make every layup as hard as possible for the big man.
Good. Handed it off to the far wing corner. 3 is drained.
Nice pick and roll there. Somebody's going to be open baseline. Really heads-up pass by West Virginia.
That's Ford who hit the triple. 14-6. Far side wing controlled. Crescion for another 3. No good. Kane one dribble up strong. Counted, and a foul for Mamadou Kane.
West Virginia head coach is shaking his head. He doesn't know what to really tell his boys there. Really good defense. Just an and one by Mamadou Kane going through contact. See Sharman White here, who still wants to get everybody huddled up after that basket. Not happy with the defensive rotations off of that pick and roll and that open 3 the last possession.
There's Mamadou Kane at the line, the 6'7" sophomore. He's wrapped up his freshman high school season.
You want to talk about a statement. He didn't care if he missed that free throw and there would be no offensive rebounders for Rise there. Sharman White wanted to get over defense here if they made it or not. Now down 14-9.
Thomas handed it off the underneath part of the backboard and missed there by Clark. Clark has been almost cherry-picking inside the paint. 3 that clings off the rim, no good for Steele. Rebound and a jump ball arrow in favor of West Virginia.
Nice hesitation move there by Drew Steele. Thought he could cash in on that 3. So far, no 3-pointers for Rise in this one. Also funny, Matt, West Virginia is technically the home team in this one.
Another good one.
Go. The kick, knock down Alex.
3 near wing, no, doesn't fall, and a rebound for Kane and Rise. Steals with it, back to Kane. Near side wing operating. And Pure. That was Brandon, help me out here.
Pickett.
David Pickett. I'm trying to read
remember, these AAU rosters, they're always a little bit interesting. But again, Pickett yesterday wasn't on our initial, and then coach said he was on the roster. He ended up having 11 points, having a good game. And today, another nice jumper, mid-range.
Speaking of the mid-range, good for Ford.
Cohen Ford with a really nice spin move there. looks like the pace is starting to pick up. AAU, I feel like the first couple of possessions, they feel each other out, but it is a way faster basketball than high school basketball.
Yeah. There's Pickett. Up top to Kane. Kane pulling up at the foul line. Pure.
West Virginia a little surprised Mamadou Kane has that range. He's already got 8 for RIZE.
16-13, RIZE is chipped back. Down 3 now. Good, closely guarded. They're not giving him any room to breathe. Good decides to penetrate. Up and fouled. Good to the line at 6:33.
Again, that pick and roll offense. They love at the top of the three-point line, try to create some space, and Good so fast on that first dribble. Tried to drive in, but he does draw the foul.
Go to the first. Some subs check in for RIZE. Guyton back out on the floor. Raytheon returns. Nolan Reed. Rob Southall, I believe, backed out there.
Yep.
One more for West Virginia as Deontay returns.
You could say Good was good on those 2 free throws. And
sure was.
We joked around. I wonder how many times Drew Steele gets a steal joke as well.
Southall just can't get it. He gets his own rebound, however, was able to move it back outside to Steele. Steele, a 3. Yes! There's the first triple of the ball game for Team RIZE.
That's what we're used to seeing by Drew Steele there. All he needs is a little bit of space, nice jab step there, and creates enough and cashes in on the three-pointer.
Look at the rim, fellas.
Penetrating Deontay, no. Rebound pulled down by RIZE and Sumare, pressured in the backcourt.
Got to get this across. There's Drew Steele.
He does so. Steals to Southall. Lost control of it. Nice save there. Beautifully done by Steele. We had an up-close and personal view of that one. Saved before the line. Now another 3 on the way, and Sumari comes up empty, and the rebound out of bounds off of RIZE.
West Virginia's playing some chest-to-chest defense. It's been an intense game so far. Bench is even chanting defense. They're fully bought in. 2-point game here. Can't ask for much better. Both 1-0 teams in this tournament so far.
Part of round robin play.
Yeah, with Easter being tomorrow, I'm pretty sure it's just whoever has the best record out of these 4 teams.
3 hit by Brown for West Virginia. Expands the lead. Yeah, not that typical 3-day tournament style that a lot of these tournaments will end up being throughout the summer. Southall adds to his total.
How much more can you ask for? A very competitive game here. Both really good teams facing off. See, Deontay here has the Easter-themed kicks on, the green and the orange.
Yeah, Alex.
Driving is Brown. Brown falling away. Not enough. And then the ball nearly pokes away and out of bounds, but saved by Guyton. Up the floor, Sumare. Back to Guyton. Bouncing inside to Rob Southall. Penetrating. Rob up strong. Give him 2.
I love his old school play style. He wears the glasses.
Yeah.
That's the first old school thing. And right there, just a nice jab step, spin the other way. And it's just, you don't see a lot of players with good post moves in high school. And he's only 15 showing it off, the 6'4", soon to be sophomore.
Little head fake before moving it inside and then back outside for a 3 by Brown. Another triple by 10 for West Virginia. Inside and a wide open look. Easy two there for Jameer Guyton. 2-point game.
That's what Drew Steele showed off last year. He can give you a couple points, but if he needs to be that point guard who's just facilitating, did a good job getting it down inside for an easy 2.
Inside, Brown couldn't get it to go. Great feed from Thomas, but they come up empty. 3-minute mark of the first half. Steele's with it. Up top to Guyton. Guyton penetrating through the lane and fouled. And he'll go to the line. A foul going against Thomas.
There's that 3 by Drew Steele to get this offense going. And look at that nice post move by Southall, using that left foot, spinning off of it. And then a nice pass by Steele down low to Guyton. Now, again, in AAU, Matt, we're going to see mass substitutions at all times. And we will try our best to keep track of everybody. But 4 just came out for Rise. The Tall brothers are back in. Mamadou Kane is back in. Raub Southall is going to take a breather. Pickett's still in, so pretty much a whole brand new lineup.
With the exception of Jameer Guyton, who's at the foul line.
But you got to keep everybody fresh. You got 2 16-minute halves, and then halftime's about 2 minutes. So you got to give everybody a breather. Again, it's about development as well. Everybody gets in the game.
Move it.
Deontay doesn't get the roll. Kane the rebound. Long pass ahead to Chris Tall. Tall is up and fouled, and he'll go to the line and almost got the roll.
Chris Tall, a little bit smaller than his brother, but I love that physical play to put your shoulder down. Nice pass by Mamadou Kane and just go up strong and earn those 2 points.
Talking to some of the coaches, saying that Chris is defense-first guy, and makes me wonder what the backyard is like with the three-point shooting
and the defense. I can see it gets pretty chippy.
I would imagine.
Dad might have to separate them every once in a while back there, but that's awesome. And a way to get each other better, because one leans a little bit more on the offense. The other one is a defensive stopper.
Can't convert at the line, and then a foul. And then they're going to say that went out of bounds off of Rise. So Best Virginia basketball up by 1.
Run hot shot, going. Use it.
Double screen up top. Toll's trying to fight through. Here comes the pick and roll. Now they're going to back off.
Deontay, they gave it off to Ford, who comes up empty. Guyton. And a foul as Guyton moved it over to Pickett, who gets hacked. Clark returns for Best Virginia. And here's Connor Toll doing the inbounding duties. Kane inside, nearly got the ball taken away, and he'll be fouled. Ford picks up the foul.
You saw Mamadou Kane as the year went on, got more comfortable with the ball in his hands there, but right there got doubled down low. Got bailed out a little bit by that foul, but Rise will keep possession, 20 on the shot clock.
Toll gets it in. Pickett, 13 on the shot clock, and it goes in and out. Loose basketball and a jump ball. Nope, they're going to say White had the ball, was out of bounds, so it is Rise basketball.
Now the refs are discussing if it was possession area gets changed. Shouldn't though, it wasn't a jump ball, just
right.
White stepped out.
Kane, Toll. There's Pickett in the corner, trying to get it inside to Guyton. Guyton triple team, doesn't matter. 2 is the result. First lead here for RIZE. That foul on the other end will give West Virginia a chance to get it right back.
Sharman White didn't like that call. Thought they kept their feet still and just had your hands up, but West Virginia will go to the line. But, yeah, what a comeback for RIZE. Down 9-2 at one point. West Virginia had a hot start, but right there you see Guyton cash in. He was triple-teamed.
It's good at the line. 1:08 to go, first half.
Been one of the stars for West Virginia so far in this one, and he's perfect from the free throw line, 4 for 4.
Foul there going against Deontay, who wants an explanation on how that was called. It's the 6th foul on West Virginia, so with under a minute to go, they got to be careful. Toll bouncing it inside to Guyton. Triple teamed one more time, and a jump ball. This time, arrow in favor of RIZE. But getting in that scrum there, West Virginia getting gritty.
I was say, why does every West Virginia team seem like they're gritty? Because they will cause a turnover there, but I swear, if football, basketball, baseball, one way you always describe these West Virginia teams is gritty. Again, their on-ball defense tonight so far has been doing a great job against some talented players over on RIZE.
Good decision.
Good. Taking his time. 10 to shoot. Bounced off a shoe, came up in favor of Pickett. Pickett gets it over to Toll. Toll sat on the rim. Putback doesn't go for Kane, and another opportunity for Mamadou Kane, and it's a bucket and a foul.
You wonder how that goes in. Everybody's looking at each other. We did everything we could, but you get 2 offensive rebounds, put it back up, throws it up, and cashes in for RIZE.
Yeah, it was the least likely of all of those shots to go in.
Yeah, I think he just threw it up. He was hoping he was going to get a foul, and that's the one that goes in. Another great thing about Mamadou Kane, the big man can cash in on his free throws.
No hack-a-shack today, or with Kane in general, as at the buzzer, that one falls off the mark. And RIZE will take a 2-point advantage into the 2-minute breather. 28-26. First half action. And we'll step aside and we'll come back with second half action when we come back watching RIZE Basketball here on JRM Sports. And we welcome you back. RIZE Athletic Complex tournament continues here. Second half action between RIZE and West Virginia with Damon McDermott. Matt Fargo with you. 2-point ball game between the guys from the Keystone State and the guys from the Mountain State.
For a little backyard brawl again in AAU. RIZE is up by 2, but couldn't ask for a better first half. Very competitive. A couple lead changes.
Good. Outside corner pocket 3 that does not fall, and a nice rebound on the other side of it. West Virginia trying to get recycled points come up empty. Kane clears away a rebound there and moves it up the floor to Steele. Steele is up and hacked. And Drew Steele earns himself a trip to the line to get us moving along here in the second half.
Only had 3 points in that first half. We know Drew Steele at any time. He can start filling that basket up, so we'll see if he gets a little bit more aggressive. Again, he was thrown into action in that state final game from injuries, and then he ended up having the best game on the court. Cashes in on his first free throw.
Good. Ford at the foul line extended, moved it outside to Good. Good. Back inside, fading away. Beautifully done.
He knows he's a little bit underside. He loves that fade away to generate a little bit of space. The scoreboard was not ticking for a second, I think. And we are back resumed after that good basket by
Thanks
Good.
for the explanation. I was just
looking around.
Yeah.
Well, when you have Sharman White, who's seen it all as a junior national team coach, and every ref confused, got to try to figure out quickly.
Kane to the rack. Doesn't get a roll, gets his own rebound, and recycles his own garbage.
As the West Virginia coach looks at me and Matt real quick and says, man, he's a big guy. You do, I mean, help defense. You do everything you can, but sometimes you're just going to get a couple.
He, like many coaches that have faced Mamadou over the course of the last year and beyond, he couldn't help but laugh.
I mean, you can practice perfect defense, but sometimes size is going to win.
Can't teach height, as that old adage goes.
I mean, and in practice, how do you simulate it? You can't, unless you got another 6'8" guy. You can defensively put up broomsticks and stuff, but offensively, you're just like, I boxed out perfectly. Yep. I had a hand in his face. He still got the offensive rebound, and then he dunked it on me. Like,
unless,
you're just
coaches are willing to put some stilts on. That's about the only opportunity there.
And when I try to remind people, again, he's 15 years old. He could come back next year 6'10". We don't know.
Right, that's a good point.
And he's just getting more comfortable in his body. We saw this year. He took a couple threes last night.
There's a 3, speaking of, that's off the mark for Steele. Good. Decides at the last minute to throw it out to Clark, who splashes in a 3.
Heads-up play there by Good. I thought he was going to take that shot at first. Saw his teammate trailing behind him on the fast break. All tied up at 32.
Here's Steele. Mentioned that electrifying performance in the state championship, and he does not disappoint. Draining a 3 there. And, you know, it's fun seeing the young guys in the maturation process and when it starts clicking for guys.
And that's what a lot of people like argue about, like there's no offseason in basketball now, but it's just nice to see these young guys. They get a little bit more playing time. You get more confident. Drew Steele is the starting point guard on this team, so he's handling the ball 80% of the time.
Deep 3 for Good, and it is good. Ties things right back up at 35.
Sha'Carri Good, very impressive here tonight. We've seen the mid-range. We've seen him drive to the hoop, and right there, a deep-range 3.
3 near side. That doesn't fall. Southall fighting for it. Lost it out of bounds. That's Virginia basketball.
Man, I got a feeling this game's just going to keep on going back and forth. We're tied up again. The second tie already in this second half.
Falling away, that one is good. Got picked out on a beautifully done attempt and then a block by Mamadou. Came in and swatted that one away. It was a heads-up play by Guyton to try to throw it off, but even better play by West Virginia to keep it in bounds. But the way that sequence would play out 2 seconds later, they would have rather it go out of bounds because Kane gets the rejection.
Southall had that heads-up play to try to spike it off. Good puts it up, and then it was so funny. He got up after getting blocked. He said, "Where did he come from?" He's like, "Where?" I thought I had an open lane, and his coach is telling him to pump fake. He's like, "Why do I got to pump fake when there's nobody around me?" And then just gets swatted. So
Toll eyes up a triple and drains it on the near side wing. Connor Toll hits the three.
He's another young guy. He just needs to gain a little bit more confidence. We saw it all through the year. If you give him a couple threes, he's going to cash in on a really nice shot there. He always leans toward the baseline as well, and right there, you knew that was in as soon as it released off his hand.
Helps Rise out to a three-point advantage. And they try to answer, and they do again. West Virginia. Deontay hits the three to even things again at 38. Toll on the other side of the wing, and same result for Connor Toll.
Back-to-back threes for Connor Toll. Anything I can do, you can do better, or something along those lines. As both of them just keep going back and forth. We'll see if West Virginia tries to answer back with another three of their own.
That up and under move doesn't work, and a rebound fought for and won by Guyton. But how difficult to go from one side of the wing, hit a three, and then go to the other opposite side after the same possession and hit another one as Southall puts in a bucket, and we get a timeout. West Virginia as it's 43-38, courtesy of 6 points of Connor Toll there on that sequence, and then two more added by Southall, and just like that, it's a 43-38 lead for Rise.
And like you said, what a weapon if you can shoot that baseline three from the left and the right. And West Virginia right away, when they saw him open after he just made the other one, they said somebody's got to get on him. So 2 for 2 for Connor Toll in this second half. There's the first from the left baseline. And then there's the second one right. And I can hear West Virginia now talking about if they should go to man because they're just getting a couple of these shooters getting lost. We've seen Drew Steele make a couple threes as well. And finally, Rise looks like they have everything going. Connor Toll has kickstarted this comeback in this second half. They were up by one, but there was a lot of that first half they were trailing, and it looks like they're finally starting to get comfortable.
Yeah.
And then you got Mamadou Kane and Southall down low getting some rebounds for you as well. Everything's starting to work. They do got to limit this three ball by West Virginia as well, as good as shown off here tonight. But what a showcase we've had here tonight. You never know with AAU what's going to happen in some of these tournaments, but these teams, you can't complain. The competitiveness of both of them so far in this one, still got 11 minutes to go, but it's been a fun game so far.
Yeah, evenly matched, and these two have battled it out, won their games yesterday, and now trying to get win number 2. Keeping in mind, more action coming your way, coming up at 3 p.m. Rise back in action. 3 on the way from the far side wing, and just like that, you called it, Damon. It's Clark hitting a 3.
Mamadou Kane tried to get out there. That wingspan helps you, but just enough space for Clark. A lot of these guys got really quick releases.
Really aggressive take to the basket. Drew Steele showing the physicality.
That's his 10th point of the night. Again, he's really got some stuff going here in this second half. 7 in the second half, and he gets a steal.
Steele's on the steal, and a travel.
Got a little bit excited there, try to get an extra step in there to get to the basket.
Toll takes a seat. There, Gracion joins in, an incoming freshman.
He's 6'4" too. I mean, they just
by
got
the
size
way. Yeah.
all over the place.
And a tip of the cap to West Virginia. They've been able to mitigate that size. There's a 3, and that's how you do it. As Ford hits a triple, they don't have a ton of size on their side, but they haven't made it matter much.
There's been a couple possessions where they can just smile with Mamadou Kane, but the three-point shooting, by the way, there's another
goodness. Isaac Sumari. That ball hit every portion of the rim before finding the bottom of it. The steal and then give it right back. Good takes it, hands it off, and that one gets blocked out of bounds. Nicely done there by Eric Gracion.
Gracion doing a good job. A lot of people would bite on that first move, but he stayed with his man there and got a quick block. Man defense looking like they're trying to isolate Mamadou Kane to get a shooter open.
Falling away, good. Can't get that to fall. Isaac Sumari chases it down. And here comes Drew Steele. Sumari. Foul line extended for Kane. Kane moved it back outside. Three on the way near side wing. Doesn't fall for Sumari. Back up the floor. Comes good in West Virginia. Tried to get that one to fall, but momentum taking him too far there. For Thomas to come up empty, and now a three. Good by Drew Steele.
Now up to 13 points, 10 in the second half. Looks like he's finally got his shooting stroke going here in this game, extending that lead for RIZE. Couple rush possessions here by West Virginia. Got to try to get back in your offensive sets, and as we say that, another turnover for West Virginia.
Yeah, lost that one out of bounds.
Couple rushed layups, turnovers, and now RIZE has their biggest lead of the game, 7 points.
Who's here? Come on, Bart.
Sumari lost it, regains it. Pickett was able to assist it over to Steele. 15 to shoot. Sumari out to Southall, 9 to shoot. Down to 5. 3 for Steele, off the rim, no good. And out of bounds off of West Virginia, and it will be RIZE basketball at 7:54.
So good news for RIZE. That gets reset to 20 seconds on the shot clock off of that defensive rebound that goes off of West Virginia. They got to get this in before the timeout. They do.
Sumari. Good. Isaac Sumari.
Another guy that didn't get as much playing time last year as he probably would have liked, but playing really good AAU season so far for RIZE.
Rita doesn't fall for Brown, but West Virginia gets the rebound. Ford. Over to Deontay, who left side stops his dribble, tries to draw penetration there, and it was denied. Nicely done defensively by Pickett. And on the other end, RIZE finds a way for Rob Southall to get those two, as we have an injured player for West Virginia.
Got rolled up on when Rob Southall looked like he wanted to go for a dunk, and then he was kind of unsure about it. But he got his own offensive rebound. Gets in the game.
Nice play on the other end defensively by Pickett.
Yeah, Good's been really shifty, but he did a really good job just keeping his hands up. Good uses that. If you don't extend your elbow and just use your elbow, you can spin off of defenders, and that's what he's been doing. Very crafty move by a smaller guard. But Pickett did a good job staying in front of him.
That's Virginia. Deontay trying to stay with RIZE, who's pulled out to their largest lead. Good. Fading away. doesn't get it to go, and there's nobody but blue jerseys to receive that loose basketball. Picking up the floor. Eyes up a triple. Short. Escorted ahead to good. Around the horn, another three on the way. That one rims out for Brown. And substitutions here for Rise as Tull returns. Along with Jameer Guyton.
Different look here now with Guyton and Pickett and Tull, 3 guards in that can handle the ball.
Call it out, call it out.
Southall, left block, up strong, comes up empty, put back easily. Jameer Guyton following there.
Ken, good defense by West Virginia, but somebody's got to tear down these boards. Now Rise up to a 13-point lead. This on-ball defense in the second half, too, has been suffocating West Virginia.
Three from the near side wing, good. That was drained by Bohai.
There was that pick and roll again. Need help defense there for Rise. 2 players can't go off of the roller.
Stay low, Alex, stay low, stay low. Run, look
Shot
out,
off the mark there by Sumari. Long roll there was chased down by Ford. That one blocked by Southall. Beautifully done. Escorted ahead to Pickett. Pickett for a 3 off the back iron. Tipped off a hand. West Virginia comes up with it. Nearly loses it. And settles it down, does Ford. Gets it into the forecourt.
And AAU, you'll see way more fast break 3-pointers and just trying to get that first pass again because there is a shot clock.
There's another 3.
But what I'm saying is you get your best chance right away, you just take it because you never know with the shot clock if you're going to get another opportunity like that.
The threes were few and far to come by early in this one, but they exploded since then.
Drew Steele, Connor Tull, good on the other side.
Stay low, Alex, stay low, Alex.
Jump step and fouled. And earning a trip to the line is Brandon Pickett. Amadou Kane back on the floor.
Pickett will cash in on his second one, and then Drew Steele will come back in the game. So closer to that starting lineup we had for Rise here, up by 8, 4 minutes to go. Southall back in, Toll back in, Mamadou Kane.
Driving is Thomas. Ends up on his wallet. But back comes Rise. They're not waiting on him as Steele's moved it out to Toll, who hits another.
He has 9 points. He's 3 for 3 from long range. Again, a heads-up play by Steele. He knows Toll's open and how dangerous he is on that right side. Best way to play for a team that has a lot of size. If you're a catch-and-shoot shooter, you are going to come in handy a lot of the times.
Doubt. And, I mean, that's the struggle that teams had with dealing with Swickley down the stretch is because if you wanted to pack the paint and worry about the size and the inside shooting ability of Swickley, you still had to worry about what they could do from the perimeter.
See Southall getting his own offensive rebound. Or no, that was the one that Guyton got. But I completely agree with you, Matt, especially if you're going to keep trying to double Mamadou Kane, somebody's going to be open. And if Connor Tull's open, we've seen here tonight, he just needs a couple opportunities. He can get you 15 points just from the free throw or from the 3-point line.
Pretty good shooting percentage today.
Yeah, and efficient. And coaches love that. If you go 3 for 4, he's 3 for 3 tonight. I mean, you earn more shots as they go in as well, and then he can take one or two more that he might be contested. But right now, he's just taking open looks and draining them for RIZE. And a really good defensive possession there is shot clock violation by West Virginia. But if I'm RIZE here, I set up a play for Toll. Let him get a little heat check. I say give him another one on one of the right or left baseline again.
From the elbow, Kane can't get it to go. 11-point lead for RIZE. Under 3 to go. Thomas on the horn. Driving his forward, lost it.
Watch
Kane is alone. Mamadou, a two-handed flush.
What a
Couple
move.
steps
I didn't know if
there
there was
for
a
Thomas.
travel. I didn't know what was going on there, but he ends up cashing in on it. I think he was surprised there was no whistle. He just kept going. He goes, all right, well, I guess I'm going to take it.
I join him with that surprise.
Get up, Deshaun, get up.
It's AAU. Maybe we're a little bit more lenient on the dribble. High school, I feel like we get a travel every other possession.
There's Kane showing all the range, all the abilities that Mamadou Kane has.
If my stats are right, we at least try to keep him pretty close. He's got 17 tonight, and he's been in and out of the lineup, so he's been very efficient while he's in.
And up and fouled again, that Thomas running back style. He almost putting the ball underneath his arm before he tries to draw some contact.
Him and Good tonight, they just create so much space. They know they're a little bit undersized, but does a good job using that elbow and a little fadeaway move to get back to the line. See Mamadou Kane right there, Matt, with the big old slam. Hang on the rim just for a second. But I don't know if West Virginia were expecting a guy that can tomahawk slam, as Mamadou Kane will now take probably his final breather. 1:32 left to go in this game. As Chris Toll checks back in. Ticket check back in as well.
Jump ball. Arrow in favor of RIZE. Drew steals. Chris Toll.
Stay up, stay up.
Grayson. Nice behind the back through the lane. Grayson earns a trip to the line.
Young man trying to show a little bit of moves we haven't seen yet from him. Another exciting prospect for next year. I see the RIZE other team warming up over there in the corner. It's so amazing to me, Matt. We have 4 courts here, Olympic size, stands. I said I walked in, it feels like almost like a college arena when you walk in here. It's very impressive.
It feels like an NBA practice facility.
Absolutely.
Is what it reminds me of. Was just out in Brooklyn, WPIL NBA player Cam Johnson playing for the Nets.
He knows all about the AAU scene around here.
No doubt. A lot of these guys trying to be the next one. Next Cam Johnson or TJ McConnell.
How about a career he's kind of shaped up in the NBA. It's been awesome to watch him play.
And steals, adding an explanation point to a great game for him.
His sister just got a tryout invitation.
That's right. Down in Phoenix.
The triple-double machine she was. But there's been so much talent coming out of Pittsburgh lately, and that's what's so much fun watching this AAU circuit. Never know what you're going to see here, as we got another game coming up at 3.
3 that doesn't fall. 10 seconds to go in this one. RIZE going to move to 2-0.
Want to remind everybody we have the last game. See if RIZE will go undefeated at 3 o'clock. There's one game in between this one, and then we'll be right back. Me and Matt might have to go check out those chicken fingers over there.
There you go. Final score for you. RIZE defeats Best West Virginia 68-52. Best Virginia goes down to RIZE, and RIZE goes to 2-0 in this tournament.
Impressive stuff again. Last night they started out a little bit slow. Tonight it just seemed like last 4 minutes of that first half, and then when the threes started to connect in that second half, it's so hard to guard RIZE when you got Southall and Mamadou Kane down low, but when you got Drew Steele and you got Connor Tall hitting those threes, it just makes everything so difficult, Matt. And what a game here by RIZE. We'll see if they can go undefeated at 3 o'clock.
We'll find out. We'll have the conclusion of the tournament, the final game of it, coming up here at 3 o'clock. But for now, RIZE wins this one 68-52. And for David McDermott and our entire JRM production crew, Matt Fargo saying thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Once again, this is our presentation of RIZE Basketball on JRM Sports.